Alliance. He is the beast from Hollywood East, Michael the Hammer Mulligan.
Hey folks, Michael Hammer Mulligan here. Welcome back. It's been a little while since I did a fresh one. I'm here with Arty, the fearless one, Mullins. Did I say that right?
You said it right.
I said it right, the fearless one. And there is a reason why they call Arty that. Arty will take a fight with anyone. He is very, very fearless in this sport. He's here with me today because he's got a fight at the Jungleplex tonight. Obviously, you guys will see this a little while after, so you'll know the results then. But all right, tell me how this. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into mixed martial arts in the first place?
I got into it 5 years ago. Started at the small clubs like Club Lido.
And he's an old guy like me. He's not quite as old, but he's 45 now, still at it too.
Yeah, started when I was 40. Went right into pro. The reason was, to me, this sport actually saved my life. I needed something to better my life and do something for myself, and I found MMA and been doing it ever since.
Focus.
Yeah. Focus, train, better for my body. I mean, if people see me from when I first started out, really not that much in shape to where I'm at now. Yeah. You know, so it's definitely done a lot for me.
Yeah, nice. And how many fights do you think you've had so far?
I know what I have. They don't have it right in the records and stuff, but I have 10 pro fights. Nice,
nice, nice. Now, you, I know you've won a few of them, or a couple of them anyways.
Well, I got one that's on paper. They don't really have it down in Sherdog. But I've got one, and I've had a couple controversy fights, but I don't hold no animosity.
And here's the thing. Now, Arty, again, the fearless one is for a reason. He does not just go after the guy that's just starting up. He doesn't go after, you know, anybody without a name. He's a headhunter. He goes looking for the toughest guys in this sport, and he fights them. Now, tonight he's here because he's taking a fight that somebody else. There's this guy, Wade Darien. He's a freaking moron. This is the second time that he's bailed out on another fighter. Now, it really stinks because people try really hard to get themselves ready to train for a fight. They spend a lot of time, and they get prepared for this fight, and they need these fights to move up the ladder. If you don't go ahead and take a fight, if you miss a fight, it's slowing down your progress. You know, there's a window in this sport as well, just like everything else. You know, the window's a little larger, I think, thankfully, because you know, we can go till a later age for some reason. But
if you're grandfathered in.
Yeah, if you're grandfathered in. We're grandfathers, all right. But Wade did it again. This is the second time that Wade Darien blew off his opponent, said he was going to show up, set up the fight. He did it. What was the first one? Johnny Johnson?
Johnny Johnson.
Did it, Johnny Johnson, who's a great up-and-coming fighter. He's another older guy and just a great, great fighter. And then he did it tonight to Banana. Now, you got Arty here who's coming in hurt, cold, and doesn't care because he wants to make sure that Banana gets a fight.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about it.
Well, the reason mainly why I got in this, and if a lot of the fans or people that really know me, that follow me throughout the years, I do got a lot of losses, but I didn't come into the sport looking to go into the UFC or get this big championship title. I came in to try to see what my skills have been growing and progressing over the years. And I've noticed, because I love the sport so much, how, like you explained, you got these great fighters that are coming up and stuff, and you got people that set up the fights and leave them hanging, and then they don't get to fight to up their career. That, to me, bothers me because, like I said, I feel like I'm doing good in this sport without UFC or the title or anything like that. I'm the one that wants to fight these big guys that no one wants to fight. I mean, people go out there and they call themselves fighter. I mean, yeah, you got a lot of cojones, you step in the cage. Come on, but let's be serious. How are you going to be a fighter if you can't step in with a real man? Right. You know, you set up a fight and then you back out. To me, you're more looking like a guy with a yellow streak running down the street. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You know, it's a sad thing because, you know, you're basically a liar. You set, you know, the other people up for a fall is what you're doing. So Arty's nice enough to pop in there and take these guys on, even though he's cold. What'd you do? You had a fight. You knocked a guy out in what, a month or so? How long was that? Yeah, about a month and a week, a month and a half. I took a fight up in Maine, a sudden fight, co-main event. I didn't know nothing about it, and I took it like I think it was a week's notice, and unfortunately, I kind of broke my hand on the kid's head. I won't put his name out there. Real nice kid, though. I have respect for all these fighters.
Yep.
And, you know, first time ever breaking anything on me. But thank God I'm a quick healer. But, you know, I was milking it, you know, taking care of my hand like I was supposed to do and stuff like the doctor told me. And
you have another fight set up, too, for down the road.
For July 21st. That's already all set up. Yep.
So I guess the point I'm getting at here is there's not many people out there that will risk themselves, that will come in cold off the bench. You know, he's been on the bench with an injury and just jump in with a guy like Banana. Now, Banana's a tough opponent. He's a great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. He's been training to stand up, but he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We know that's where he's going to go. How are you going to try to fight? What are you going to try to do with this?
Well, if everyone knows me, I'm just arty. I go out there and
arty the party.
You know, I don't got no single style like, you know, he would on jiu-jitsu or some guys or boxers or whatever. I'm mainly I've came up, you know, with some little kickboxing background, a little kung fu, a lot of street fighting where I grew up in the projects in South Boston. Yes, I am originally a Boston boy, not a Maine guy. And like I said, I tried, when I came into the sport, I thought, okay, street fighting will be it, you know, I've knocked so many people out on the street. And I found out it ain't it. You got to be skilled in everything, every part of the sport. You got to, any kind of art that you can be skilled in. And, you know, that's why I like taking the fights with these serious guys, you know, because they're trained in all these different skills. So I've actually, even if I catch a little beating, I'm actually learning something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no better way to learn because, listen, you can spar all day long, you can go in and train all day long, but until you actually get into the cage and you do it, you don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah. Oh, well, let me say one other thing. For a guy like me, and there are fighters out there, I work for myself. I'm a subcontractor, so I don't get as much training in as a lot of these young guys, and it's great that they get all the training they can in. For me, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of hard and stuff, but it's the sport that's taken me over.
Yep.
To draw me to doing this. So I'll work 10, 12 hours a day, drive my 2 hours to go back home, and I will drag my into the gym for at least 2 to 3 hours to do what I need to do, prepare for a fight.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to do it on this fight, but again, the one thing that bothers me is people backing out, and I didn't get to tell you is, it has happened to me twice, if you remember, up in Maine.
Right.
And the thing that bothered me the most was, I trained my off. I've dropped weight to where I had to be, and again, it's hard when you're working and training, but you do that for like 3 weeks or a month, and you prepare yourself mentally for these fights, and for me, Ken Avery, okay, leaves you hanging.
Oh, dude.
At the weigh-in, okay, brother? At the weigh-in.
God.
That hurts me the most, and when I see a good person,
he's done it 100 times. I did a video on him. Cody Lightfoot did the same thing. He did it a bunch of times. Did it to me. Did it to Bean. Did it to a couple other guys.
Not even
There's
right.
a whole list of guys out there that do the same thing. Yeah. My first fight was at Memorial Hall.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there getting my hands wrapped. You guys all heard this before. I'm sitting there getting my hands wrapped, ready. I met the kid the night before. He was from New York. Louis Riaz. Never forget that. Kid had a big purple mohawk, gang tattoos everywhere, you know, and I shook his hand, looked him in the eye, and said, "I'll see you tomorrow night," and that was it. He left the hotel room that morning, apparently, and told the guy he didn't want to fight me, and he went back to New York. So I'm sitting there getting my hands wrapped, and Joey Cuff comes in and goes, I got one hand wrapped, ready to go in for my first fight, you know. So it's a traumatic thing. I know it sounds stupid, but when you put all that effort into something, and that's why we got hats off to Arty for doing this for Banana.
Well, that's you know, another main reason why, you know, I took this fight.
Exactly.
You know, because he's a great guy. I've heard so much about him, and I respect the schools that he comes from and stuff, and all you, Mike Rash, Lee Bean, I respect all these, you know. Pat Schultz, you know, this is why I love this, you know. And if I had to come in here with one leg, I come in here with one leg. You know, it's just that bothers me so much to when people put. And I really liked Wade, and I never thought he would do something like this after he's seen other people do it. You know, and in this sport, I guess you don't see everything until you see it.
Well, that's just it. There's a lot of people, and I don't know. I don't even think I don't know that Wade belongs to a school. If he does belong to a school, and if he's training at a legit school, shame on you, shame on the school.
Yep.
But I think that he's probably an independent, because usually when people bail on a fight, that's what you find, is that they're an independent fighter. They don't have, like Arty coach, you don't have somebody like Arty behind them to make sure that they get their stuff ready, get into the ring, because, you know, you need to be able to focus on the fighting part yourself and let somebody else focus on the details.
I agree and disagree in a way, Mike, and not to disrespect you.
No.
When you say independent, I'm retiring. Did I tell you that before? No. Me, I consider myself like an independent. I didn't go to like all these great schools, which I wish I did. I wish I did a few.
You're a different human being, though.
Right.
You're not.
But.
Right.
The way I look at it, though, is I'm basically an independent. I made my school, and I try to help people out. That's just how I am.
Right.
But if you come into the sport and you go do your fights, and he's won a few fights, you know, stick it out there. Don't leave people hanging. If something happened, make a call or something. But to not just freaking leave people hanging like that, you know, and you know, independent. To a gym or nothing. If you're a fighter, you're a freaking fighter. Step in the cage, do your freaking business, and get it over with. That's just how I feel.
There you have it. Look, show me your tattoo.